Hey friends, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about how to go up and down stairs to maximize the benefits of this movement while minimize the injury. Before we get started, I want to ask you a question. Imagine you are going on a hike. It's a loop with elevation. Would you choose a steep climb and a gentle descent, or the opposite? We'll talk about my recommendation at the end of this video. Going upstairs or going downstairs, these are very simple but very basic and important movements in our daily life. Besides stairs, we also need to get in the car and get out of the car. Or if you love hiking like us, many trails might have elevation. So I think it's very important to get this basic movement right so that it not only doesn't hurt our knees, but actually strengthen our muscles. In this video, I want to quickly talk about the common mistake and how to do this, as well as the cautions. But before we jump in, I want to quickly mention two things. First, in this kind of video, I will say right and wrong, or correct or wrong. I hope you don't take that as disencouragement or you're doing something so wrong. It's not that wrong. I just simplify to just simply call that wrong. If you're moving around, you're doing stairs, you're walking, it beats sitting around, it beats laying around. So it's a major yay for you. And you don't have to do everything perfectly correct. It's just by doing things in a more right form, we can have extra benefit besides we're already moving around. Second is when you're practicing this movement, practicing the postures, the forms, I suggest to have a wall or a handrail besides for support, just in case if we lose balance. I know it sounds like overkill, but always safety first. And some of you might think this is so basic, so simple, this is the video for senior. I think you might be shocked. I personally love to drill in all the basics because that's what we do the most of the time. And in future, I want to make videos in terms of how to walk. And oh boy, I was shocked myself how early we start to lose those basic movement, range of motion abilities. It will be an interesting video. And when you start to work on the basics, the benefits goes way beyond just walking or going stairs. You might notice major boost in your cardio performance. It might also help you avoid a plateau during weight training. The benefits goes really beyond just those simple basic daily movement. So without further ado, let's dive in. Here are a few common mistakes I see people do when they go upstairs. Some put only the ball of the foot on the stairs and rise up. This requires a lot of strength on the ankle and the knee. It's not the most efficient way to go upstairs. Another common one that I see is our upper body would overly lean forward, which would change our center of gravity. Consequently, the knee is more likely to go past the toe, and that's a lot of pressure on the knees. Another one you will see in more like older group is what I call jerking upstairs, almost using your whole upper body to lift ourselves up the stairs. Well, now we know what's not to do. Let's look at what we should do. First, in the body, we want it to be properly aligned, the diaphragm and the pelvic floor. Like mentioned in the previous video, this is fundamental and very important for almost all activities. Then, since we're moving forward, our body has a gentle lean forward. This is not achieved by hunchback, but to fold gently from the hip. Now, looking at the front view of our lower body, you want us to be properly aligned. Hip, knee, ankle, properly aligned. From the side view, we want to make sure that our full foot lands on the ground. And when we're ready to go up, our knee doesn't pass the toes. When you're going upstairs, you should really feel your quads and your glutes engaged. Going downstairs is actually harder than going upstairs in terms of how much pressure our knees are taking. Be sure to engage your quads, mind muscle connection, and get your ball of the foot on the ground first. This will reduce the impact on your knees. The key thing here is really that mind muscle connection to engage your quads. These are simple movements, but really need some adjustments and practice to form that muscle memory. We have different height, and the stairs sometimes have different heights and depths, so be sure to make adjustments while you're practicing. Stairs are really great training tools. It combines aerobic and anaerobic exercise in one, and it's free and pretty much everywhere in the city. So I think going up and downstairs is a great exercise. Personally, I think it's even better than running for older group. But if you are thinking of taking this as a regular exercise, there's one more thing I'd like you to do before you get started. Doing stairs as exercise compared to just regular days going around using stairs. The difference is the intensity and the duration. And we know that we don't want an injury. It's very unpleasant. So we want to make sure our training intensity matches what we can take. When we overload our body, it's very likely to get injured. So I highly recommend you to do a quick check before you using the stairs as an exercising tool. There are several ways to test it, but I prefer this way because it's so simple. All you need is a chair. Let's sit on the chair, put both of our hands in front of us, raise one leg up, and see if we can get up with that single leg. Well, be sure to test it in a safe environment, having somebody beside you or have a wall beside you. This test actually tells us if we have sufficient muscle strength for our daily life. There's a gentle step-down version of the test, which is you don't have to stick out the other leg if you want to exercise with the stairs. So be sure to pass at least the easy version of this test. That means you're not very likely to get injury with the correct form in our hips, ankles, or knees. If you cannot perform this test, it's also fine. There are other exercises that can help you first strengthen your quads and glutes, then move on to stairs. I like to play safe, so I always recommend to start basic, make sure we have enough strength and correct form so that we don't get injured. Pain is no fun. Back to the question at the beginning of the video. If I'm planning the hike, I would go up the steep side and go down the shallow side. When I go up the steep side, I could train my glutes, I can train my quads. It's less pressure on my knee. And when I go down, that means it's the later part of the hike, which I might be tired, I might not have perfect form. Of course, I will always try to engage my quads consciously, but when we're tired, that mind muscle connection is really hard to keep for a long time. So going down, I definitely prefer a gentler slope. I hope this video is helpful. Thank you for tuning in. If you are like me who love simple but very effective ways to stay healthy, please consider subscribing to the channel. In the future, I'd like to share more video on this kind of topic, and also I want to do a series of topics on how to lose weight. Not really just weight loss, but also sometimes there are people having issue gaining weight too. It's the same. We want to go to get fit. Maybe that's the better term. Get fit is not that hard despite your age. Again, it's my style. I really like to go back to the basics, the fundamentals, and talk about the common mistakes. You know, count calories, and some people, as soon as they talk about weight loss, they go out and start running. And ideally, this is the last time you need to think about weight loss. It doesn't have to be something that consumes a lot of time, a lot of your money. Anyways, we'll talk more of this in future videos. Thank you for watching. Bye.